Hello, this is Chas with Heirloom Leaves and Seeds, and today I would like to talk to you guys about dahlias. Now, dahlias are one of my favorite flowers to grow. A lot of my family members have grown dahlias over the years and generations, so dahlias have always been a part of my garden and my family's garden. So they're one of my favorites to grow, and there's so many different varieties to choose from. So I think that getting tubers every year is so much fun, and I love to put them in bouquets. Now, some people ask, does your customers ever complain about the vase life of a dahlia? Now, dahlia's vase life may tend to be a little bit shorter than some flowers, like maybe a celosia or status for sure, but some of them do last pretty long. And a lot of that has to do with the type of dahlia that you put in bouquets. Some do tend to last longer than others. So my customers seem to really love dahlias, and some of them just are showstoppers, and those bouquets get snapped up the earliest in the farmer's market. So my latest group of tubers, I will go from, I'll say year 1, year 2, and year 3. Year 1 are the ones that I grew for my daughter's wedding, and due to I tried to bring them inside at first and store them, and they would shrivel up and die. And so I have started to leave my tubers in the ground. I'm in Tennessee, and we are in zone 7, and they do just fine here. So I'm going to stick with that because it seems like whenever I try to bring them indoors, it's a 50-50 chance. They usually end up getting dehydrated. I hate to use a lot of plastic, but the method that worked the best for me was to wrap them in saran wrap. And if you grow a lot of dahlias, this would be very time consuming, and I don't know, it wouldn't work for everybody. So I like to leave mine in the ground and then just dig and divide them every once in a while. So let's get started. Year 1, I grew Diana's Memory, Beatrice, Florel, Linda's Baby, Pink Pearl, and Sweet Nathalie. Now, due to bad storage, I lost several of those, and the only ones that I still have is Diana's Memory and Beatrice. So Diana's Memory was probably my favorite of the two. It had produced so many flowers this year, and they're so beautiful. I love the white with a little bit of lavender and a bit of pink. They're just so beautiful, and the plant has been covered with them all year long. Now, the pests do seem to favor them, so I do use the organza bags to cover them just to keep the pest off. But Diana's Memory has done really well. And before I continue on, I was really bad this year and I did not stake the majority of my dahlias. So a lot of them did tend to flop, and Diana's Memory was one of them. Now, if I don't say it, they flopped, but I will tell you which ones are nice and upright. But Diana's Memory flopped, and like I said, that was my fault. I should have got them staked early in the year, and it just didn't happen. So, but she's still done great, and I have some larger bouquets I make, and some of them was too small of stems for my large bouquets, but my smaller twine bouquets that are about this size, they actually remind me of like a floral bouquet for a wedding, a smaller one. And for that size, a lot of these dahlias were perfect that flopped. So Diana's Memory, definitely like that one, and she's very beautiful. Next on the list is Beatrice. Now this one is a light orange. It's pretty much a ball dahlia. Now the only reason I would not like this one is it seems like the the inner petals do not fully open, so you have this yellow center. Now, I don't particularly like that. Some of you may, but as for me, I'm not really crazy about that. So if something were to happen to Beatrice, I probably wouldn't replace it. But she is producing plenty of flowers right now, so I will use them. And they're still beautiful. I just would prefer to not have that unopened center. So that unfortunately is all the dahlias I have from year one. So next is year two dahlias, and the first on this list is Cornell Bronze and Marn. And I grouped them together because the first year that I grew them, I could hardly tell them apart. Now the strange thing is after I left them in the ground over the winter, this year I can plainly tell them apart. So I don't know. I don't know why that happened, but this year they seem very different. The Cornell Bronze is a beautiful, super round ball shape. And to me, it's more of a, I'm trying to describe it just from memory, but it is a light golden orange color. It's the perfect ball shape. They're about this big, and I did a side view of them as well. And then Marn, that one almost seems more like a water lily type flower, like a star shape, and the petals are more pointed on this one than on Cornell Bronze. And to me, the Marn has its orange, but it has just a touch of like coral in it. But very beautiful, and Marn has been blooming like crazy this year and just doing very well. So definitely like Marn. And then next on my list is Boom Boom White. Now, if something were to happen to this one, I would definitely replace it. I said earlier that I did not stake the flowers, and this one, poker straight, and it's huge. It's probably up to my neck and shoulders. And it produces so many white flowers, and like I said, nice straight stems, nice long stems. I don't have any gripes about them. They do so well, and they're perfect for my nice big wrapped bouquets. Next on my list is Genova. Now this is the one that I bought reluctantly in place of Wine-Eyed Jill the year before when I couldn't get Wine-Eyed Jill. I put my order in for Genova. I was like, it still has that dark eye or center that I really liked on Wine-Eyed Jill. It was lavender, but I just liked the look of that dark eye. And I hem-hawed about getting it. I was like, I don't know. Should I just wait for Wine-Eyed Jill? I'm so glad that I did because I love Genova Dahlia. It is another one that stood up nice and straight, and it produces so many flowers. And they are not large, they're not even medium. They make such small, perfect little ball-shaped dahlia flowers. And I love just the look of it, and it's so beautiful when you see the plant as a whole with all these beautiful flowers with that dark eye. Definitely one of my favorites, and I can't believe that I almost didn't get this one. All right, next is Labyrinth. Now, Labyrinth is so, so beautiful. And whenever I put those in my bouquets at the farmer's market, everybody stops and is like, oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. Even if they don't purchase the bouquet, they still stop and comment on how gorgeous this flower is. And they're always the first to go. Now, it is a dinner plate dahlia, and I was a little uncertain if I should get these because a lot of people knock dinner plates for bouquets because they are so big. But I find that they work perfectly, especially on the sides. Like if you put just one right here, it and you have your bouquet and you just put it on the side and it just works for me. And I love them. They have this almost striped quality to the petals, and it's just beautiful. And I would definitely replace Labyrinth as well, and Boom Boom White. Next on my list is Cafe au Lait. Now these have done pretty good this year, and it's funny, this year it seems like the flowers are almost split down the middle, like a light cream and then a light cream pink on the other side. And hopefully you can see that in these pictures. But anybody that's grown Cafe au Lait, you know it's beautiful. And then last for my year 2 dahlias is Diva. Now Diva has this dark purplish red, more like a dark purplish maroon color to it. And in the mornings when it has dew on it, it's just beautiful. It would be a very, very beautiful garden dahlia. It's just beautiful to see out in your garden, and it does great in bouquets as well. And this is a really good producer and just fun to have. Now we are in the year 3. This is the dahlias that I bought last year. Now, if you've seen one of my previous videos, I talk about how I just could not find Crichton honey, ginger willow, and wine-eyed Jill all together in one place. And I only buy a few dahlias every year, and it's in that year they were all in different places. This year I found a place that had all 3 of them, so I was so happy. And I'm so glad that I stuck with them and eventually got them, because Crichton honey is so beautiful. It is this beautiful golden peach color, and it's so gorgeous, and it's tipped in a lighter cream almost, and the flower itself reminds me of honeycombs, and it's just so beautiful. Now I received all 3 of these kind of late in the year, so I haven't got to use them too much, but Crichton honey was so beautiful, and in a bouquet it just really stood out and was gorgeous, and definitely one that I would want to keep and use every year. And next on my list is ginger willow. Now these are so cute, and I love this orange tipped in a fiery orange red, and just a beautiful color. And these are tiny. They are only like this big, but the plant tends to produce a lot of flowers. And I wish I would have gotten a picture of this bouquet. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I wish I would have got a picture because it was so pretty. It looked very fallish, and it had ginger willow, it had mahogany splendor, it had some marn in there, and it just looked so fallish. And the ginger willow just made it so gorgeous, and it was the very first bouquet to sell at the farmer's market. And it was funny because I was like, I need to get a picture of that. And I was like, oh, that one sold right off the bat. So I didn't get a picture of it, but it was so pretty. But definitely worth the wait. Ginger willow, gorgeous. And that's another one. Both Crichton honey, ginger willow, I would definitely replace those if something were to happen. And then next was wine-eyed Jill. Now, wine-eyed Jill, it's a beautiful flower, but for some reason, its flowers are always too far gone in time for the farmer's market. I cannot get the timing right on these, so I get to see them in all their glory and splendor, and they look beautiful and perfect. But when it comes time to cut for the flowers market, they're too far gone. So I think I took one, and one I broke off. And I got these planted late in the year, so I don't have that many flowers. Hopefully they'll produce a little bit more, but I went out there today and once again, the flower is blown out. It's too far gone. I'm like, ugh, I just can't seem to get it right. All right, next is Totally Tangerine. Now this is a really cool and unique flower. And over the years, it's always caught my eye and I have always wanted it, but I've always picked other flowers just because I thought they would last as a bouquet a little bit longer. For all of you that don't know, dahlias that tend to have just open face or a few petals don't tend to last as long as the tight ball-shaped flowers, but it's so unique and cool. I think that it's worth it if it may not last quite as long as the other ones. And that was also in that bouquet I was telling you about that I wish I would have gotten a picture of. Next is one that I'm not sure if it's blooming or not. I have, it's Alana Claire Obscure, and I'm not sure if Diva has just sprawled out or if the Alana Claire Obscure just did not come up. But there is a few flowers that look like they have white on the backs of the petal. Now, any of you that know what Alana Claire Obscure looks like, it's supposed to have fringed petals tipped in white. I'm not getting that, and I'm sure it's happened to some of you. Sometimes you see pictures online when you go to buy them, and when they bloom in your own garden, they just don't quite look the same. So I don't know if that's happened to me or if Diva is just absolutely huge this year and it's taken over. So hopefully in the fall, I will figure that out and I'll try and give you guys an update on that. So I'm not sure if that's Alana Claire Obscure or it just didn't come up and Diva has taken over, because there seems to be a little bit of a difference, but not that much. All right, and the last one on my list, which I can't really tell you much about this because once again, I'm not sure if it's Otto's Thrill or Lavender Perfection, because you guys have heard me, I'm sure, complain about my labeling skills. No label, so I don't know what it is. And those look similar, and in a storm it broke off and then it resprouted, and it was the first bloom, and I don't even know if I got a picture of it. I'll have to hunt for that one to see if I took a picture of it, but I don't know enough about these yet to give a good opinion about them, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But the flower that I did get was really pretty, and hopefully I'll get some more before our first frost of the year, and maybe I can tell them apart. All right, so that does it for the dahlias that I grew, except for my seed grown dahlias. Now, I got these seeds from Florette. One of my daughters purchased the book for me, my oldest daughter, and I got some free seeds with this book. And so I grew them this year, and it was so fun growing them because if you saw one of my other videos, I go into detail about this, but I remember one morning I was looking out at the garden and I saw this tall, light yellow dahlia flower, and I'm like, I don't remember getting a yellow dahlia. And then as I was walking back to investigate, it came to me that that is a seed grown dahlia. And it was so fun to see just what happened to pop up. And in that video, I also talk about, it reminded me a little of the moon, so I called it Luna just for fun. And it was also the name of one of my favorite cats I've ever had. And It was just so much fun. I think from all of the seed grown dahlias that I grew, which wasn't a whole lot, I have Luna, and then I have this dark star-like flower. I don't know if it would be considered a colorette dahlia. And then I have these other two. And this one actually reminds me of a dahlia I've seen before. If it rings a bell to any of you, because I did get a free dahlia tuber this year, so I have no idea what that one was. It looks familiar to me, but I tried looking online and I could not see anything that looks similar. So if this looks like any dahlia to you guys, be sure to leave that in the comment section because I would like to know what it is if it's not one of my seed grown dahlias. And then I have this other one that looks similar, the flower type, but it's a lighter, it's like a light yellow peach color. But they're very pretty. They just have that open center. But they're very cool. I haven't named them yet. I'll have to think about it. I will save the tubers from all 4 of these because this was the first year that I had ever grown dahlias from seed. So it was a really fun experience, and I'll have to come up for names. That one reminds me of watermelon. The third one reminds me of like watermelon, or I don't know. But I'll have to think of some names. It was fun. So that is the end of all of the dahlias that I grew this year. And as a flower farmer, I'm always thinking of next year. So this is a small list of some of them that I'm thinking about growing. I think I'm going to grow more of the seed grown dahlias. That was really fun. And I'm even going to get a, what do they call it? A pom-pom mix seed for dahlias. So that seems fun. So ones I'm kind of throwing around for next year is Platinum Blonde. This is an old but good one. And Apple Blossom, same as that. That's been around forever, but it's just so beautiful. And I've never grown either of them. And they're these ones that I've seen them every year, and I think about it, but I always kind of pass them up. So I might just bite the bullet and get them and try them out for next year. The next one I'm thinking about is Bracken Palomino. I mean, that's just a cool name, so I want to grow it, and I love the color. Big Brother, this is another dinner plate dahlia. I've had such good luck with them this year. I think I might add this one to the mix. I thought about it last year and I was like, oh, everybody says that you shouldn't really grow dinner plate dahlias for your bouquets. I had fun using them this year, so I'm going to probably add Big Brother to my list. Next is Lakeview Peach Fuzz. I thought about this one pretty hard last year, but I wasn't able to get it. They sold out really quick from the place I ordered from last year. I love the fringed petals, so hopefully I'll be able to get that one. Holly Hill Frodo, that one seems cool, and I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. Citron de Cap, now that one looks really neat as well. It reminds me of Lakeview Peach Fuzz a little bit. Both of them have the fringe petals and just super cool. Bracken Rose, that one's just another really cool one. And Purple Flame. Now this one actually, the petals almost remind me of like a spoon and just a deep dark purple. Well, I think that is it. And who knows what I will come up with next year. It always seems like I have some in mind, but it all really comes down to where I order from and what's in stock when I order. So, are there any cool dahlias that you were thinking about ordering this year? I would love to hear about the dahlias that you want to order for next year. And it's just fun to see what everybody likes. So go ahead and leave a comment if you want and let me know what dahlias you're thinking about purchasing this year. I hope you guys have a great weekend and I will see you in the next video. Bye.